Today they were voting on background checks on the gun control bill. Now this was already incredibly watered down. It's not universal background checks. There was giant loopholes in it, and then they wanted to add more loopholes. Now normally this is the kind of thing that passes actually. Now bless your hearts, a lot of you out there were saying, oh, A, Cenk's going to be angry, and B, he got this right. He said gun control wasn't going to pass. Well, to be fair, that's only half true. I thought the assault weapons ban wasn't going to pass. Of course it didn't. It got crushed. It only got 40 votes. Forget a filibuster. They didn't even have to filibuster it. And then high-capacity magazine ban, I said that wasn't going to pass. That didn't come close either. That got about 46 votes. That also didn't get a majority. So I was sure, right about that stuff. But I actually thought, and I was naive enough at some point, I guess, to think that the background checks would be a fig leaf. That they would say, all right, here you go, get some background checks, not going to do much anyway. We killed the relevant portions of this bill, and that it would be an Obama moment. They'd put the mission accomplished up there, and they'd say, historic gun control legislation. And particularly I thought that because Bloomberg came in with $12 million. Now, $12 million makes a lot of difference in politics, especially when you run ads against certain politicians. Apparently, they haven't gotten that memo yet. They definitely got the NRA memo because the NRA has been spending that money for decades. Now, things might turn around in a couple of years, and I'll tell you why it might turn around, and it might not even take a couple of years. Two things are going to happen. One, those Bloomberg ads are going to run, and then the politicians are going to start to feel the pain of that, and it's going to become immediate to them. And then they're going to go, oh, man, oh, I didn't know you had that much money. I thought the NRA had more money. Okay, my bad, I'll switch my vote. The second thing that's going to happen is they screwed up today. So the main background check bipartisan compromise obviously didn't pass, right? So why is that a screw up? Because you're supposed to put a fig leaf on it. This is how Washington normally works, and say we solved it and move on, right? But you didn't do that. So what happened was anger. Lots of anger throughout the country saying, God damn it, you didn't do a thing on this. It's the NRA overplaying their hand. The bill was already incredibly weak. You should have just taken it. Instead, you jumped the shark, and there's significant anger in the country now. Look, it stretches out across everyone, but it started at this moment when Biden, sitting in, of course, as the head of the Senate, is his role that he does time to time as the vice president, ceremonially, when the votes were announced. Here's what happened.
The order in the Senate. The vote, on this vote, the yeas are 54, the nays are 46. Under the previous order requiring 60 votes for the adoption of this amendment, the amendment is not agreed to.
Not agreed to. By the way, got a majority. Who cares? Majority doesn't rule anymore. The minority rules. Because Harry Reid, in his infinite stupidity, didn't fix the filibuster. He didn't do reform on that, not meaningful reform. What did he do? He did a fig leaf reform, which is not reform at all. So what the Republicans do, I don't give a damn if 91% of the country agrees with this. I don't care, who you got shot and you brought the family members here. I don't care. I get paid by the NRA. I vote no, and I filibuster it. So even though they had plenty of votes to pass a majority, it got killed anyway. That's when two women in particular started saying, shame, shame. Who are they? Well, it's only Patricia Maish. Who's she? Well, she's the person who stopped Jared Loughner from grabbing his third clip. She's the hero of Tucson, Arizona. They always say like, oh, what difference does it make how many bullets there are in a magazine? Or guns don't kill people. Well, Patricia Maish says that's not true. I saw it with my own eyes. The more guns he had and the more bullets he had, the more people he killed. She knows she's the one that took the third magazine away. In fact, I want to go to her quotes right now. She said, look, you know what happens? After she started saying you should be ashamed from the rafters, right? They, of course, escort her out of the chamber, and then the Capitol Police are going to escort her out of the building when reporters step in and won't let the police do it, and they talk to her. And here's what she says. When I was told it was done, I decided that I could not stay still any longer, that they needed to be ashamed of themselves. They have no souls. They have no compassion for the experiences that people have lived through, having a child or loved one murdered by a gun. then she went on to say they are an embarrassment to our country. Now, if you think that's harsh, wait till you get a load of Gabby Giffords. She's, of course, the congresswoman who was shot in the head, and she did not pull back either. She put out a statement saying, moments ago, the U.S. Senate decided to do the unthinkable about gun violence. Nothing at all. She went on to say, over 2 years ago, when I was shot point blank in the head, the U.S. Senate chose to do nothing. 4 months ago, 20 first graders lost their lives in a brutal attack on their school, and the U.S. Senate chose to do nothing. It's clear to me that if members of the U.S. Senate refuse to change the laws to reduce gun violence, then we need to change the members of the U.S. Senate. Damn straight. Now that's my kind of language. You either get in line with 91% of the country, or you get the hell out of this place. Now, this is when we need to spend money, time, energy, resources to make sure that the people who voted against this bill, that they bleed politically. Politically. We go to get them with a pitchfork. And if it takes Bloomberg's money, then you grab Bloomberg's money. And if it takes Gabby Gifford saying, shame on you, I got shot in the head. I was your fellow congresswoman. I got shot in the head and you didn't do anything about it. Well, then that's what we use. This isn't coming for your guns. This is the simplest piece of legislation. Hey, you can't just buy a gun without doing a background check. We need to know whether you're a criminal, whether you're a terrorist. But the NRA is so strong, it doesn't matter. You can buy a gun even if you're on the terrorist watch list. Did you know that? That's why, because the NRA has this Congress lock, stock, and barrel. They got them locked up, and they showed it today. Ashamed, at the very least they should be ashamed. So now we're nowhere. Nowhere. We've got nothing. But that anger will rise, and now let me tell you the third reason why they will eventually lose on this. Because unfortunately, there will be another tragedy. It's only a matter of time. The mass shootings keep on coming in. I wish to hell they didn't, but they do. You think there won't be another terrible, tragic mass shooting, and you think it won't happen relatively soon? You think we're going to have to wait a couple of years? I wish we waited forever and it never happened again. But it's going to happen again and again and again. And then the next time you want to see anger, there's going to be real anger. Because you know why? You didn't do the one thing you're supposed to do most of all. You're supposed to protect the citizens. Protecting the citizens isn't going and invading a country like Iraq that didn't attack us, starting senseless wars so defense contractors and oil companies can get paid and get rich. Protecting our citizens is making sure that 20 young kids don't get shot and killed in a class that they went to. It's at the bare minimum, can you not at least protect the Congress people from getting shot in the head? You know, as all of these people are saying, you keep wanting to ask, have you no shame? But the answer is obvious. Of course they don't. Of course they don't. All they care about is who signs my checks. And if the NRA is signing my checks, I don't give a damn who gets murdered. That's what the vote was about today.